What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Guess what? The Chemist is back. Stay tuned. What's up, guys? As the video intro stated, I am back large and in charge, feeling much better after my accident. If you didn't receive or if you didn't see that video, go ahead and click on the card above if you want to check that out. But today's video, I kind of wanted to discuss the things that have transpired since the accident. And if you're a rider who has never been in an accident, you're going to kind of want to hear this type of information. So I also want to discuss the damage that was received to Lucy, as well as the damage that was received to my protective gear. Now, if you're a rider out there riding with no protective gear, I highly suggest you up your gear game, because that is going to be the biggest mistake of your life if you are not wearing your protective gear and you happen to go down. I also kind of want to discuss the injuries that I received as a result of that accident. So without further ado, let's get into that portion of the video. All right, guys, so when I impacted the vehicle, I was doing about 40 miles an hour, and unexpectedly the vehicle just jumped out into the next lane, and I kind of sideswiped the vehicle. Now, when I sideswiped the vehicle, all the impact was on the left side, including the impact to my body. The first injury that I received was a fractured rib on my right side, which is kind of odd. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how it is I went over or went down. All I know is when I was on the floor, that's all I remember. I just heard a loud pop, and the next thing I know, I'm on the floor and in pain. So when I impacted the vehicle, the whole left side of the bike drug against the whole right side of this truck, and my left side was crushed in between the bike and the vehicle. So the first thing that happened was when I impacted, the handlebars turned, and as you can see in the video, my hand was instantly crushed in between the handlebar and the truck. And let me tell you, that did hurt. There was no broken bones to any of my arm or my left arm or in my hand, but I had significant swelling in my left hand. I couldn't move my fingers for a while. It was black and blue, and I'll see if I can post up pictures of that. But I got really lucky. Nothing had broke in my hand or my forearm. Now, it's very important that you wear very good gloves. Now, I have the Knox gloves and with the palm sliders, and if you're riding with the bare minimum type of gloves, you're gonna want to throw those things away and get yourself some gloves with some good knuckle protection and palm protection. It is going to save you, let me tell you. The gloves themselves did not receive much damage, and I was kind of surprised. When you initially go down, the first thing you want to do is put your hands out in front of you, and usually it's going to be your palms or the bottom half of the glove that received the most damage. So due to the palm sliders, there was no ripping or tearing of the gloves. I got a small light scrapes on the gloves. The fingertips were kind of worn away here, but it is very important that you have good protective hand gear. So as part of that impact, the left side of my leg, my entire leg, was sandwiched in between the bike and the truck. Now, when it comes to protective gear, there's not really much you can do about that. It is what it is, and it's going to happen if you have a side impact. So my left entire leg received most of that impact as I drug across the truck and off the bike. Now, there were no broken bones. My shin and my foot swelled up significantly, black and blue. There were very minor scuffs on or scrapes on my skin. There was actually no road rash on my entire body, so I got very fortunate with that, but just minor scratches due to the impact of me hitting the truck. So one thing that I really want to mention here is that when I side impacted the vehicle, the foot peg hit the side of the truck, and my foot was resting on the foot peg, and the impact was so great that it bent down the foot peg with my foot in it as well. So I kind of want to show you that right now. So This is the Alpine Star riding shoe that I normally sport. Very good shoe, has very good protection. We got a toe box, heel, and ankle support here very well. Inside of it also has a reinforced shank to keep your foot from bending. And as you can see, I can't bend this shoe. Now this is my right side. The part that received the damage was my left side. Now I want to show you that I cannot bend this shoe down. As hard as I try, I cannot bend this shoe down. When we move to the shoe that did receive the impact, first of all, I want to show you that the bottom of this shoe is completely worn away, and that's from the peg, my foot getting squashed or pinched in between the motorcycle and the truck. Now, this shoe is the shoe that received the impact. Don't forget, we have a protective shank in here to reinforce to keep your foot from bending down and breaking. This is this shoe. Okay, I completely snapped the shank inside this shoe, and that was my foot as it went down in between the truck. Okay, so in the video I'm constantly, or I'm telling the paramedics, I can't feel my toes, I can't feel my leg, and that's because I received most of the impact on the bottom half of my leg, my shin and my foot and my ankle. So it's very important that you get good riding shoes. Now if you're that guy out there who's just riding around with tennis shoes, that's a really bad idea after seeing what has happened here. You know, I got very lucky, and the paramedics and the doctor or ortho told me so, that I got very lucky that I didn't break my foot in half with the type of impact I received. Now when I show you the video footage of the side of Lucy here, you will see that the peg is sitting down at an angle here, and that was from me impacting the vehicle. All right. Now, it took a long time to recover. I wasn't able to walk for a while. My back was hurting, of course. What took the most brunt of my protective gear was probably my pants, for one, and not for the reason you think of, and two, my jacket. Okay. Now when I was riding, I had a backpack on, and that kind of saved me as well. Okay. So as I went up and over the bars and onto the floor and slid across, my backpack kind of saved me with all the stuff that I had inside of it, and I really didn't have much injuries to my back. Now, I also have D2O protective gear as a back plate, and or D2O. So let's go ahead and move over to the jacket and see what type of injuries or damage sustained to the jacket. Now, this was a brand new jacket. I had just purchased it no more than a week before my accident, and it really saved me. Now, in the right arm, I'm guessing, was the first arm to go down because it received the most damage. And as you can see from the pictures here, it received the most damage, my right arm. Now, we do have an arm protection here, arm and elbow protection here, and nothing happened to my right side, which was awesome, considering what you see happens to most people when they're riding with bare skin. So as far as the back is concerned, because I was wearing a backpack, there was no damage to the back side of my jacket. Very minimal scrapes, which can probably be dusted off. Okay, I did receive on the left side some slight burning away of the material, but nothing too bad. So let's go ahead and talk about the helmet. The helmet is probably going to be one of the most important pieces of riding gear that you receive or that you purchase. And well, I didn't receive any damage to my helmet aside from the visor being scraped here. My helmet is in still perfectly good condition. Now, when you go down and you're in an accident, this is the first thing you're going to want to get rid of. Even though you don't see any scuffs or marks on it, it's gone down. You don't know what's happened to it. You don't know what condition it's in. You're going to want to go ahead and get yourself a new helmet if you happen to do go down. Let's talk about the pants. Well, I wear Knox riding pants, and they are a full Kevlar lined piece of riding gear with knee and hip protection built in. So it's entirely removable, both hip and knee, from external and external components of the pant gear. But there was no road rash. I didn't receive any road rash whatsoever when it came to the bottom portion of my legs. So let's go ahead and take a look at those pants real quick. This is what's left of my Knox riding gear. Now, when you get in an accident, the paramedics are going to want to cut off all that gear off of you. And while I tried to have them save my jacket, because that was the first thing that they wanted to cut off of me, was my jacket, I fought them every single way. I said, no way, this is a brand new jacket and it is very expensive. I'll pull it off. And so they helped me pull it off, which was great. Okay, so but for the pants, when I was laying on the floor, they wanted to go ahead and cut the pants off of me to make sure that I had nothing was broken or bleeding or protruding, or any bones were protruding out of my skin. So they went ahead and cut off these pants. So these you can pick up for about almost $200. They're about $170 if you go to Revzilla or something. But inside here you can see we have protective hip armor, which is easily removable with the Velcro. All right, so we got some protective gear here, as well as on the outside has a pouch, so you can easily zip in the knee protection here. So I was wearing all my protection, as I should and as you should, when I went down. So there was no injuries to my, or there was no road rash to my legs or anything, any cuts, due to the fact that I was wearing Kevlar reinforced gear. So it's very important that you select your riding gear accordingly. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much going to bring this portion of the video to an end. Now, as I stated before, if you're a rider who is not wearing protective gear and you're just that guy out there in a pair of shorts, some sweats and a t-shirt, and you just have your helmet on, you're gonna highly regret that decision. So let's go ahead and move on to the next portion of this video, and let's talk about the damage that Lucy received. All right, guys, so this is Lucy as she stands today, and as you can see, there is pretty much no damage done to the right side of the motorcycle. The body kit from our last video still looks the same as she did when I first put her on. And I kind of want to make a quick note right here. I get a lot of comments about the eye-fairings video that I made, and people wanted to know how good of a quality this kit actually is. You know, as I stated in some of the comments when they asked this initial question, man, eye-fairings kit, this is really one tough kit. Okay, if you can get anything better than eye-fairings, please let me know, but this is pretty much OEM quality plastic here. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the other side and show you where the actual damage did incur. So as I pan around here, just kind of want to show you that yeah, she's on the right side, she's pretty much looking good, and there was no damage to any of the right side of the motorcycle during that accident. So as we get closer here on the front end, I'm going to kind of try to zoom in here and show you. Not quite sure if you can see here, but we got a little nick going on right here as far as the bike coming in contact with something. Not sure what that was. Maybe that was due to the impact of the truck. And as we move more closer towards the other side, we can start seeing significant damage, but not all that much damage that you would think of in a motorcycle accident. So as you can see, the kit still held together here as it scraped alongside of the car. None of the plastics are cracked in any way. They're all just pretty much scuffed, and if I really wanted to, I could probably take this to a body shop and have all this repaired and repainted again, so not a big deal there. As we move over to the hand grips area, this is where most of the impact incurred, and as you can see, the bolt here for the counterweight is bent in here, and this is from my hand getting squashed in between the truck and the bike, or the handle grips. Now we did receive some damage up here. The perch which holds on our clutch did crack off here, as you can see, so that is going to need replacing, as well as since the bars were pulled in this direction, I'm going to try and get you a good view here and zoom in of what damage happened to the actual fork clamps down here. So let me zoom in on that for you guys. Alright, so as you can see, we have these little nipples here that are aluminum and part of the lower triple tree, and as you can see, mine right here has cracked off a bit and is kind of facing forward here. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do here. Maybe I can have it fixed, or maybe I can go ahead and just replace the triple clamp altogether. You do see a lot of these triple clamps on eBay for sale that have the exact same damage from motorcycles that were in previous accidents. I did a whole lot of research on eBay trying to find a lower triple clamp, and it's pretty hard to find one that does not have the same amount of damage to it. So I'm not quite sure what we're going to do there, but that obviously needs replacing. Now when it comes to the tank, or the tank cover, there was no significant damage to the tank cover aside from the braces or bracketry getting damaged or snapping off. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at that. Alright, so as you can see here, the tabs here which hold on the tank cover have completely seared off on both sides, so you are able to probably lift this up if you wanted to. The tank cover can actually come off, but one thing I gotta say about the iFairings kit, this tank cover does hold on really well, and I probably can just modify this if I wanted to, sand these off and just sport the tank cover on top of here as all by itself, maybe with some 3M tape, and it would probably stay just the same. So this is where Lucy received most of her damage, and as I stated before, the iFairings kit, man, this kit completely held up really well considering a 40-mile-an-hour impact and being sandwiched in between the bike and the vehicle. And well, the clips did snap away here and here, which hold it into place. This kit did not break away. I mean, we got some small minor cracking here, but it still held up very well for what it is, a piece of plastic. So the bolt location here stripped out, and we also lost the side slider here. The bolt actually sheared off and the slider came off, causing the bike to scrape along the side. And that's maybe the reason why that we didn't receive a whole lot of damage. If you can see, the stator cover is slightly scratched, but not scratched all that well. We may be able to sand that down and maybe send it to powder coating and have it fixed. Alright, so swinging around here, you can clearly see that from this angle that the foot pedal is actually bent down, and we also did receive some damage here to the spool, which came in contact with the floor, and this spool is actually bent inwards like this. And I'm going to swing around to the back so you can go ahead and see that for yourself as we do a comparison from both front and back. So as you can see, the foot lever and the spool here, I'll go ahead and zoom in, are bent down. And the spool is actually, or the holder for the spool is actually part of the frame or the rear arm, swing arm. And I'm not quite sure how we're going to go ahead and fix that, if we can bend that straight, but I'm no longer able to use my normal attachments for lifting up the rear into the bike when it comes to working on it. But if you take a look at that foot peg, can you imagine your foot being on that foot peg and it getting bent down to that degree? If we move over to the other side, you can clearly see that that foot peg is pretty much up in its proper place and where it should be, and we can clearly see the angle of how far that foot peg actually went down to the floor, towards the floor. Alright, so taking a look at the rear fairing, or the tail section of the bike, you can see the left side did come in contact with the floor. That is not from scraping along the side of the vehicle. So we got heavy, deep gouging here, and the plastic is kind of melted away here. We also received some damage up here. The kit actually cracked in this location, not quite sure why, but maybe when it came in contact, everything shifted over and it split the plastic in this location here. But we're definitely going to need a rear tail replacement moving forward. So you can see, of course, the mirror received some significant damage here, and this is going to need replacing, but it's actually locked into this place right here. And one other thing I wanted to kind of point out here, as you can see, I'm able to pull this away, and that's because the front stay has cracked, and that's going to need replacing as well. Alright guys, so I forgot to mention one other minor thing that was been damaged on the bike, and that's the fact that the radiator has since been shoved over from the left to the right side. Now I'm not quite sure if that's due to the tabs being slightly bent on the radiator or the tabs on the frame being slightly bent and out of place, but I need to go ahead and dive in there as well. Now moving forward, what does that mean for Lucy Lou? Well, I'm going to go ahead and run some footage for you guys right here, and this is actual frame damage that Lucy received as part of this accident, and any motorcycle that has received frame damage due to an accident is no longer considered roadworthy in the eyes of the insurance company, and the insurance company has since deemed Lucy a salvage bike with a special title of parts only. So even if I fix the cosmetic damage that you saw here today, Lucy could no longer be ridden on the road, and no insurance company would actually insure her. So moving forward, what does that mean for the channel, and what does that mean for Lucy? Well, the channel has always been a DIY channel, not specifically for motorcycles, but it just kind of worked out that way. But the insurance company paid me $5,800 for Lucy Lou, and they also paid me an additional $1,800 and some change for my gear. And with that money, I'm going to go ahead and reinvest in Lucy Lou. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to have another bike payment or a car payment. Who wants another payment added when I have a completely good bike and the only thing wrong with her is the frame? So with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to take your salvaged title bike and bring it back to a clean title in my next video series. Now, I'm going to break her all the way down to absolutely nothing, remove and replace every single part, and at the end of this video series, Lucy will be a brand new 2022 motorcycle. Now, with all that said, what you need to do now, right here, today, is go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow riders if you are a rider checking this video out. And stay tuned. There's a lot of good information that's going to come out of that video, in that video series, where we just work on every single aspect of your 2005 Suzuki GSX-R 750. So with all that said, guys, I'm the Chemist, and I will see you next problem. Peace.